Just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress.
Shockingly, this pilot was not certified to fly the ill-fated plane.
Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million.
Our age, and it's just scary because that could have been any one of us. And she was an angel, and I know that now she's with God.
That was a, you know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual, whether people know it or not.
When Aaliyah dies, I was with Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her.
So 25 years after Aaliyah's tragic death, and 14 years since Cathy White dropped dead under mysterious circumstances, there is now talks that there are answers in Cathy White's diary. The police have finally reclaimed Cathy's diary, containing graphic details about who was behind Aaliyah's death and why exactly they did it. Apparently, Hype Williams and Aaliyah's uncle were paid millions of dollars to help orchestrate Aaliyah's death, and they took the deal. In fact, this interview of Mary J. Blige, claiming that Aaliyah's death was planned, went viral, and it dug up so many more receipts that we didn't even know existed.
And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair, and it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I believe it wasn't her time to go, because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that.
Okay, so as most of you already know, both Cathy and Aaliyah were both connected to Jay-Z, and they both died under very suspicious circumstances. You see, even though they died a whole decade apart, people still think they have certain similarities. Starting with Cathy, her body was found in her apartment just days after she told Jay-Z that she was going public with their relationship. And according to the autopsy report, she died of a brain aneurysm. But as you can already guess at this point, a lot of people didn't buy it at all. And honestly, the circumstances around her death make everything a little suspicious. She was only 29.
What this moment exposed to some even caught us by surprise. Here it is again, slowed down. As Beyoncé sits down with Molly Meldrum, her dress folds. That crease caused a worldwide controversy.
Some are wondering if Beyoncé is faking her baby bump after the singer appeared on an Australian TV.
But it gets worse. A lot of people were saying at the time that she was also Beyoncé's surrogate. Now, I can't confirm or deny this, but recently people are saying that Cathy used to keep a journal where she would write all about her experiences in Hollywood, including what she saw and heard. It brought a whole new perspective to this case. And now, people are saying that she also heard about who really came for Aaliyah. We've all heard about men pillow talking to their little girlfriends, so this isn't that far-fetched if I'm being honest with you. Not that, it's been rumored for a long time that Jay-Z had a hand in Aaliyah's death, and that her death might have even been a sacrifice to open the way for Beyoncé. So the fact that this alleged diary from Cathy is also alluding to the something shady makes Cathy's death even shadier. Aaliyah tragically lost her life on August 25, 2001, after going to the Bahamas to film a music video. It turns out that she was actually hesitant to even get on that plane, but they forced sedatives down her throat, and once she was unconscious, they put her in it. In fact, Lenny Kravitz had actually sent a private jet to pick her up from the Bahamas, but Hype Williams, the director of the video Aaliyah was filming, made it unavailable to her, even though he later on used that plane himself, basically saving his life. How convenient is that? Aaliyah was filled up with sedatives and thrown into a cargo plane that was going to be flown by a drunk pilot.
2 weeks before the crash, Aaliyah's pilot, Luis Morales, had been on the wrong side of the law when he got arrested for possession of cocaine and got probation after a traffic stop on July 7th revealed traces of in his car. The autopsy further revealed traces of and alcohol. Shockingly, this pilot was not certified to fly the ill-fated plane.
But that wasn't even the shadiest thing about this. Hype also suddenly decided to move the video shoot from Miami to the Bahamas, even though they were almost done filming the video. The whole thing was giving very much, he got a call from someone, possibly someone who had a hand in her death, to move things around because they knew exactly what they had planned for her when it was time for her to head back. Mind you, Hype was the same man who was with Left Eye when she got into that fatal car accident in Honduras. I don't know about y'all, but something clearly ain't right here.
What I was really more tight about was that I had heard that Lenny Kravitz had offered her a jet and that Hype had took the jet. So that's what really pissed me off about the situation when I heard about that. So you could ask Hype about that.
That's what I said. Have you ever talked to Hype about it?
Yeah.
And how did that conversation go?
Ask him.
But I also am asking you.
Yeah, but ask him.
I feel like you had some things to say to him.
Now, some of y'all might not know this, but when Aaliyah was only 12 to 13, her uncle Barry Hankerson created a record label called Blackground Records, specifically to develop, promote, and capitalize on Aaliyah's talents. Aaliyah signed an exclusive recording contract with Blackground Records, promising them 6 albums. Background pretty much controlled her masters, recordings, publishing, and future royalties. This made Blackground and Barry the legal entity that owned the rights to her unreleased work, future albums, videos, and projected earnings. But get this, just 4 days before Aaliyah was supposed to go to the Bahamas, Barry conveniently went to the court to get a waiver that explicitly said that in case Aaliyah died or anything happened to her during the trip, they would not be held liable. Why would he specifically rush to get something like this done if he didn't know what was going to end up happening to Aaliyah when she went on that trip? Now, after the crash, Aaliyah's parents filed a personal wrongful death lawsuit against the video production company and others involved in the flight. They settled it privately in 2003 for an undisclosed amount and released all claims. But 3 months later, Blackground Records filed its own separate negligence lawsuit against the same video production company.
When Aaliyah dies, I was with Barry when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death. He got paid $90 million for her death. Am I supposed to say that on TV? For $90 million for her death.
Was that just for his rights or whatever he owned?
What she would have been able to make if she hadn't have died.
Oh, okay. There was a lot of lawsuits.
I guess,
okay.
But that was the settlement. I wasn't in. I was there when we went over to he got $90 million. He wouldn't stayed at the L'Hermitage Hotel. We ate good, in deep mourning, right?
At the time, the entire thing seemed like a tragic accident, but it has since been speculated that Jay-Z and R. Kelly knew what was really up.
Unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. You signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it?
And remember what I said earlier about them getting rid of Aaliyah because she was rejecting their advances? Well, that rumor was actually fueled by Jay-Z's former best friend, Dame Dash. You see, back when all this was happening, Dame was in a very serious relationship with Aaliyah, which Jay-Z was jealous of because he also wanted Aaliyah. He even got her flowers and tried taking her on dates, but according to Dame, Aaliyah wasn't having it. And if that wasn't enough to make things messier, Jay-Z continued maintaining a close working relationship with R. Kelly even after Kelly had already been publicly called out for forcing a marriage on Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old.
My age is going around. It's like I just never really say it, so you can't hear it from me. But I'm in my mid-teens.
Mid-teens, okay. I suppose you could define that either way.
You know, 15, 16, 17.
They were saying all kinds of things about, oh, Aaliyah's married.
Right. I just say, well, I say no.
Well, she may say no, but this marriage certificate shows that last August, Aaliyah and R. Kelly said yes. But hold on a sec. How old did she say she was again?
I'm in my mid-teens. 15, 16, 17.
So if she says mid-teens, the certificate says 18 and her record company 15, how old is Aaliyah? Maybe the reason she's keeping quiet is because if proved she's a minor, her marriage to R. Kelly will be null and void.
Robert's mom died in the process of them making the record. And Robert was extraordinarily close to his mom. She was his muse,
Right.
She as well. She was an inspiration for him in a lot of ways and stuff. And so it was a traumatic experience. And so that trauma made him and Aaliyah become very close because a lot of times in the studio, like it would just be them two, and he'd be like obviously crying and going through whatever he was dealing with trying to deal with the loss of his mom, and like she would be the one kind of there comforting him, because they were working together so closely. Again, not condoning anything, but I think that's what kind of got the lines fuzzy.
Right.
You know, I think that was.
Honestly, no man with any kind of moral compass would continue standing beside someone like that unless he was completely unbothered by that kind of behavior. Jay-Z didn't just look the other way either. He went ahead and recorded a full collaborative album with R. Kelly called Best of Both Worlds, and then took that partnership on the road for a whole tour. And not only that,
Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
an old interview between Nas and Wendy Williams from 2004 started making the rounds again. And in it, Nas basically put Jay-Z on blast for knowing exactly what R. Kelly was up to. He flat out accused Jay of being present when Kelly was bringing youngins into his studio and doing crazy things to them.
Yo, don't put up no movies. I said, that's not my style. That's not what I'm going to do. Yeah, I could have put up movies. I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about, made fun of it, and said, yeah, Jay's hanging out. When Jay and them was in there doing Best of Both Worlds, you can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. No. You can't tell me, you want to tell me that working on that album, that he ain't never seen no 14-year-old girl come in the vicinity?
My belief is that anybody who's worked with him and been in his cipher has seen it go down.
You've seen it go down.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I've been around R. Kelly, and I pay for that, brother. I've been on a tour with him. It didn't last too long, but I've been around him. I didn't see no 14-year-old, but I talked to the man, and I've seen there's a little problem there. The brother needs help, and I pay for him. But if I sit there and did an album about women with him, I'm definitely maybe indulgent. He had to be indulgent to 14-year-olds, man. That's what I'm saying. What I'm here for the people, man. I'm here to talk the truth. And I'm on
Now, Nas didn't come with hard evidence to back any of that up, so it's difficult to say how much of it holds water. But a lot of people chose to believe him anyway, largely because Jay's history with youngins has been a topic of conversation for a long time. Anyway, going back to Cathy's alleged newly found diary entries, it's now being reported that the police are taking it seriously, and they'll be launching an investigation. Allegedly, Cathy wrote all of the crazy stuff she heard with working with these celebs into Jay-Z and R. Kelly as the prime suspects in her death. You see, according to Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z was the one who funded the investigation into R. Kelly, so the heat about Aaliyah wouldn't catch up to him too. The only person who really knows what happened to Aaliyah aside from him is R. Kelly. But since everyone is now convinced that R. Kelly is the monster, it'll be easier for him to pin everything on R. Kelly and walk free.
Publicly, Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. Just now, Sean, you must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally, and privately. Sean Carter, this has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
Girl, Cathy and Aaliyah might be dead, but they are still giving their alleged a very hard time getting away with what they did. One person said, "She did not deserve to die. She was There are so many people involved in her death. She was exploited, abused, and taken advantage of. It upsets me greatly." Another person said, "I'm sick. They robbed Aaliyah of her innocence and exploited her talents. And when people were onto them, they made this whole situation happen. I'm so angry that they got away with this." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Cathy White's new alleged diary exposing who killed Aaliyah? And do you really think the people who have been linked to Aaliyah's death really had something to do with it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.